But we thank you. We appreciate you for listening to us. We do have Terry here, who is a customer of Ex-Im Bank. So he can tell you what it's like to deal with Ex-Im Bank, as well as he is with the MBDA Export Center, so he knows Ex-Im Bank in and out. So thank you so much. Terry?
Well, we definitely want to thank the ladies for all the information they just shared. And, give them another round of applause, don't? That was good stuff. Because normally, like you say, with us being small businesses, like she said, I'm part of the Export Center, but I'm also an entrepreneur. So financing. Where are you going to get the money? How am I going to get paid? These are the main things that we talk about. And I was one of those people that she talked about that was doing things backwards, okay? I've been going to Africa since 2000. And I would broker little small deals, and I would do things, and then, people would be like, hey, can you give me this? Can you give me that? Can you give me this? And then I would go out and I would buy those things at a good price, and I would resell them. But now, it started getting bigger and bigger, and people are like, well, hey, I want to buy it, but, can I pay you later? And I'm like, no, they you can't pay me later because I just tied up my money. When you order from Walmart, you don't pay them later, you got to pay them now. But again, in the business world, we know that, that's not reality. Customers need terms because, again, they have to pay people, there's things they have to do. So the African struggle in which I saw was that, like you say, people wanted to get it, but they wanted you to ship it. And you wanted them to buy it, but you wanted them to pay for it. So now what happens? No sale. So now you're stuck. So now I'll be like, man, now I got to risk, $50,000, $60,000 because I don't want to lose this customer. And I want to even just get it to the port in hopes that they show up and pay. Because guess what? If they don't show up and pay, it's at the port. So now what happens? You have to pay duty. You have to are you going to ship it back? You going to find another customer? What's going to happen to that actual shipment? So that was another dilemma that I had, with dealing, with exporting things to Africa. And then the light bulb came on and somebody introduced me to the MBDA, with the Export Center, which the Export Center introduced me to Ex-Im Bank. And they said, well, Terry, why don't you insure your shipments? I'm like, oh, well, I got, insurance. I put it in the container and it's insured. If it drowns, I get paid. They're like, no. For your customers. I'm like, well, what do you mean? Well, so if you ship something, we can get you a policy that if they don't pay, you can give them terms, 30 days, 60 days. If they don't pay, we'll pay you. We'll give you 95% of that invoiced amount. I'm like, whoa, you will? I'm like, okay, well, how much does this cost? And then when they told me the cost, I looked at a $100,000 policy, and they were like, it was $500. I'm like, what? Hold up, so you're going to pay me $95,000 if they don't pay, which that's hopefully, not the case. Of course, we want them to pay. But if they don't pay, you're going to pay me $95,000? You're going to give me $95,000 of my invoiced amount? And they said yes. So I said, okay, where do I sign up? So now I'm like, okay, but this is government. I know I'm about to get a big packet. It's going to take me 6 years to fill out. It's not going to make sense. I'll need, a lawyer just to go over it. So I got this little thin, a one-pager. And I'm like, well, that's it? They're like, well, yeah, and we're going to put you in touch with a broker. I'm like, here it is. Here's the catch. Here's a broker. So how much is this going to cost me? So they put me in touch with the broker. The broker goes over the policy. And I'm like, okay, so how much is it going to cost me? He said, well, nothing. I'm like, well, what do you mean nothing? Well, you don't pay until you actually ship something. I'm like, hold up, stop. You're going to insure me for $100,000. I don't have to pay anything. You're going to give me a blanket policy that's going to cover up to 10 of my customers that I can just go out there and you're going to vet them to make sure that they have the ability to pay us back. Well, I say us now because now Ex-Im is my partner. I'm not doing this alone anymore. So that's what's going to happen. And they were like, well, yeah. I said, well, okay, sign me up. So it took us about 20 minutes to fill it out. And I'm like, okay, it gets down to the financials. I'm like, okay, they're going to ask for blood. I need 5-year tax returns. He's like, well, no. You got a profit and loss statement from last year? I'm like, what? That's it? You just need a one-page? That's it? He's like, yeah, well, just send it in. So I sent him in a simple one-pager. And then, now here we are. So it's a great product. And then even with that, I'm like, okay, I'm still going to tie up some money. I got to wait till it gets there. It's going to take 30 to 45 days, depending on where it's going to go. Then I'm giving them 30 days. So now, again, my money's tied up. And if I got 2 customers, let's say I have in a cost of goods sold, let's say I got $120,000 tied up. I'm like, man, a customer just called me, and they want to buy something. I can't tell them, well, wait until, I get paid from them. I got terms. I can't tell them that. So again, I talked to my expert, Latanya, and she said, well, Terry, why don't you leverage the policies that you have, with the bank, and then now you can free up capital. I'm like, well, what do you mean? Again, I didn't know. She said, you can take that policy to one of our partner banks, and they'll give you up to 70% of the cash value of that policy. I'm like, hold on, stop. So now I'm going to be able to get paid ahead of, getting paid. She's like, well, yeah, you can do that. So now I got the ability to free up capital, to now fulfill my other customers. And they're like, well, why are you using your cash and your liquid cash to, fund these deals? I'm like, well, what other way to do it? A bank doesn't want to just give you money, just, ship stuff overseas because they feel it's risk. They don't care if you got, whatever you got. And they're like, well, we can fund the goods that you're actually sending. I'm like, hold up. So you can finance the goods that I'm shipping. You can guarantee that I get paid on the goods that I'm shipping. Where you guys been? I've been doing this I've been doing this the hard way for a long time, waiting to get paid, taking me 60, 90 days, or not offering terms and losing customers. So I'm like, look, this makes all the sense in the world. I'm in, like I say, I'm with Ex-Im Bank. It was an easy process. They're easy to work with. They're knowledgeable. They know what they're talking about. And it's actually real. And now, we're trying to go to the next phase, of getting, even bigger deals. Because now, like they said, they got a board now. And now, sky's the limit. So I would definitely stress to use them. The program works. It's not complicated. It's beyond simple. And now I understand how, because you'd be at the port, when you actually go. Sometimes I go and meet my goods, and I'll see a guy, shipping 8 containers, 9 containers. I'm like, man, I want to be there one day. But now I have the capability of doing it because I got the guarantees, with Ex-Im Bank behind me. So that's all I really. Oh, got a question? Okay. No. Oh, okay, all right. Okay, I'm sorry. No questions. After that, you can meet me in the hallway. I'll be more than happy to answer it. Okay.
Could you share what countries you've entered?
Right now, the country that I've shipped to is Ghana, and actually because of Ex-Im Bank, now I'm able to ship to Senegal. So now I'm going to Senegal, and then now with the Africa Free Trade Agreement, we're actually looking at, doing, a distribution center, in one of the 2 countries, whichever the one offers us the better deal on land, so we can put a little, metal building and a warehouse in order to distribute the goods out. Whoever gives us the best deal, then now we'll have a distribution center, and then we'll just ship it all over, the continent starting in 2020 in July. So we're looking forward to it. That's why we're here. We're excited. And, and I'm sorry, and a shameless plug, too, because, again, I do work with the Export Center out of Chicago. So, we're here to help. Our job is to help minority businesses export their product or service to Africa. And like she said, it doesn't have to be a tangible product. It can actually be a service. And that's our job. And, again, we're a non-for-profit organization, that works off a grant from the federal government. So again, our services are free as well. So feel free to use us. We go on trade missions. We host what do we host? Seminars. We host summits. We'll soon have our site up, which will have different webinars on it to talk to people and to teach them how to trade. So that's my spiel. Oh, okay, but that's my spiel. I know it's getting late, so I don't want to keep you guys. So thank you very much, and thank you to our hostess for having us here. Thank you for the information, and thank you guys.